Good Friday evening, YouTube. It is a lovely Friday, and I know I missed yesterday. Wish I hadn't, but, well, sometimes when a train wreck is taking place, you just have to watch. So, tonight I want to talk to you about chaos. I want to talk to you about chaos and order, and how in chaos you really can't get anything done, and how in order you can. And the best place to start with that is a place in which you can find and or make order. So I like to call it my zone of influence. Almost like you're king. This is your space. You get to decide every aspect of. What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? What's in it? What's not in it? Who is in it? Who is not in it? When you're taking calls, when you're not taking calls. When you wish to isolate away, not because you're scared or because you're panicked or whatever. There are times where you need to isolate away for those reasons. But I'm referring to isolating away so you can build. Because you can't build, you can't work, you can't do the inner work that you need to do if the space that you're going to do it in is chaos, not controlled, not safe, not secure to you emotionally, physically, mentally, schedulally, you know? It's kind of hard to work on deep thoughts if they're getting interrupted every 15 minutes. If you're getting dinged, if you've got people running through it, if you've got people with 100 questions, or somebody who just won't leave you alone. You need a space for yourself. You need a space where you can create distance. You need a space where you can decide that I ain't talking to nobody right now, because right now what I'm working on is me. And that is the space in which you can find yourself doing your inner work, asking your questions, deciding, hey, is this particular thing that I think and that I have always thought, is it true? Does it serve me? And you can make decisions and pick those things apart and go, yeah, maybe it's true. Maybe it's semi-true. Maybe it is something that my father taught me that has always been something that I've thought. But also it's created conflict in my life. So maybe it is true. Maybe it's half true. Maybe it's not true at all. But the second question, does it serve you? If it creates conflict in your life, I don't know. Is hanging on to it worth it? Or maybe you let it go and find a different perspective. You can't do that in a place where you can't be you. And you need a place where you can excise guilt and shame from the process. And the reason I say that is because guilt and shame, oh boy, if you allow them in the room with you, you will never get anything done. And I'll give you a good for instance. I'm sure I'm not your first YouTube video. I'm sure that you've been accosted by ads from HIMS, H-I-M-S, erectile dysfunction. You should look up the stat on how many men suffer from it. And previous to HIMS, Viagra, I know a lot of guys my age that went, I ain't doing it. There is no way I'm going to walk my ass into that clinic and talk to the doctor that I have seen for 35 years. about the fact that my pecker don't work. Well, why is that? Oh my God, are you kidding me? What happens when I see him in the grocery store or at the pharmacy? What happens when I'm driving down the street and he's driving down the street and he sees me driving down the street coming at him and he's laughing his ass off as he passes by? Guilt and shame. Did these guys go get their pills? Nope. Does their pecker work? Not well. Are they intimate with their significant other? Not often. Does that significant other grow distant? Yep. And when that significant other grows distant, then what do? Well, then they try to recover the relationship. And they may even go to the doctor that they've seen for 35 years and ask for that pill and suck up that shame and suck up that guilt. They've suffered negative consequences and had to do it anyway. So you might as well throw guilt and shame out of the room when you start this process. Because the thing is until Hims came along, that was the way it was. Now that Hims came along, I wish I'd have bought stock in that when it first started. So if you can excise those two things, shame and guilt, and just say, look, we ain't doing that. I'm not judging. I'm assessing. What is what I believe, is what I believe true. How true is it? Does it serve me? I give you a couple of for instances of truth and does it serve me, and I'll use my kids as that. Because I mean, they are my kids, I can use them that way. My youngest, he's 14. He is a monster physically. The boy is 6'3". He's taller than me. As I said, in order to have an eye-to-eye conversation with him in the next couple of years, I'm probably going to have to tap him in the nuts to get him down to that level. Not to mention the fact the boy is 300 pounds plus and 14. I guarantee you he hits the 10th grade, they're going to be like varsity football whether you like it or not over at this high school. They're just drooling. You know what he likes to do? Robotics. He could care less about football. He likes outdoorsy things as long as he can bring his phone with because tech. What does he really want to do? Science, STEM, material sciences. Nobody in his life but his mother and me. Nobody in his life sees him in that way. So, is it true that he'd be an awesome football player? Heck, probably. He doesn't have the interest. So how true is it? We don't know. Is he willing to train? Is he willing to suffer? Is he willing to take the pain for something he doesn't really want to do? Just to people please? Does it serve him? Here's another one. My 16-year-old. What college you going to go to? Young man, you need an education. Does a higher degree bring you more money? Hell yes. Ask anybody who works for $14, $15 an hour that if they could trade jobs with somebody who works in, say, social services with a bachelor degree, would they do it? Probably. But all these people pushing him towards college and everything else fundamentally don't understand him. And some of it's true. Some of it's very false. Here's a good dichotomy. You can get a college degree or you can work a $14 an hour job. Kind of leads you down the path of you're going to go get that college degree, right? My kid is interested in anything that's not in a cubicle. And good welders, which he likes the idea of welding, make good money. Sandblasters make good money. Real good money. People who can pressure wash make decent money, and for some reason I have as of yet to figure out, the boy absolutely adores washing concrete. From my understanding, he enjoys using a pressure washer like nobody's business. Are any of those $14 an hour jobs? Nope. Does he have to go to college for them? Nope. Is it true? How true is it? Does it serve him? I would state that it is not true. It is not true for him. And the reason I say it's not true for him is because his life would be misery sitting in a cubicle. His life would be misery doing some of these things that they keep advocating that he do. He doesn't want to. And that's where your space comes in. Your space allows you to go, okay, is this for me or for somebody else? Is this something that I want to do? Or is it something that somebody else has convinced me that I want to do because I want to make them happy? Ultimately, making yourself happy is the best way to make them happy. And if that doesn't make them happy, then they don't deserve to be in your life. So you can sit in there, you can do the work. You can figure out exactly who you are, what you want, where you want to go, and how you're going to do it. But first, you have to address the inner work. You have to go, hey, are these things that I think true? And do they serve me? So, with that in mind, I encourage you, go find your space. Or, you already have your space? Well, order it. I'm not saying, Jordan Peterson, clean your room. Messy isn't chaos. But you do need it to serve you. So however it works for you, set it up so it works for you, not against you, so that there aren't roadblocks. And get to. Start thinking about these things. Because I guarantee you, as you think your way through these things, you're going to find you don't know yourself nearly as well as you thought you did. And you may find that you like yourself a hell of a lot more once you really don't give a shit what other people want you to do. But you do what you want to do, what is good for you, what is healthy for you, what advances you. Thank you for hanging in there. I'll see you in the next video. Y'all have a wonderful day.